As you know, the matrix multiplication and how it works. Next, I'll take you to some questions which are very similar to LCAT question, and you need to look for those questions because these are a bit tricky. Now, at first sight, both matrices look same. They have the same order, so the multiplication should be possible. But no, if you write down the orders of both of these matrices, and then you compare, you will notice that the number of columns of course were 3, while the number of rows in the P was the second was 2. So the multiplication is not possible. The 3 is not equal to 2. Most of the time, students, start solving question. They will then, think in their heads how to solve it further, but they don't even know that the product was not possible, and they just wasting their time. So before multiplying, just check the number of columns in the first and the number of rows in the second. Only go forward if the both are same. Now, there's some type of question which is asked you for the order. So, uh, find or order of A, B. In order to find the order of A, B, you first have to find the order of the matrices. So, 3 rows and 1 column, 1 row, and 4 columns. So, as I told you earlier, the order of A, B will be equals to rows in the first by columns. And there is a catch before solving for the order of A, B, you first have to verify if the multiplication is possible. So in order to check if feasible, you check the feasibility, take columns of the first and rows of the second. Columns of the first matrix are 1, the rows are 1. Yes, it was. Only after checking the feasibility you are allowed to find the order of the product. For that, you need rows of the first and the columns of the second. That means 3 cross 4 would be the order of A, B. Now they're asking order for A, B, and the masters. You just go like, oh, order of A, B, that means the rows of the first and the columns of the second. So we have 4 cross 5. Now, always first check the feasibility. Do not directly jump into what is asked, but do the prerequisite for feasibility. Feasibility is, checking the columns of the first one, which is A, and the rows of the second one, which is B. Since the columns are 5 and the rows are 1, feasibility test fails and you will write no answer choices for the order of A, B, or you can say not feasible. We have also studied the identity matrix. So let's see how it applies to product of matrix. So whenever you multiply a matrix with its inverse, you would also always get an identity matrix. Even if you write A inverse first and then A, you will still get the same answer. So suppose there's a question which says, and then in the options you will have multiple options. For example, A inverse B, or B inverse A, or maybe just B, or maybe A inverse B A. Now, which one is correct? You have to derive it. So, starting from given value, which is AB equals to BA, we know that we need the value of B. That means we need only B on the left side, and we need to eliminate this A here. That's why we'll multiply A inverse on both sides so that we can get rid of that A from it. Now, since we know that A inverse times A is the identity matrix, I times B equals to A inverse BA. Another important property of identity matrix is that uh, even though you multiply it with any matrix, it will remain the same. The matrix will remain the same, provided that it's a square matrix. So whenever you multiply I with any matrix, you will get the same matrix as the result. However, since you know the identity matrix is a square matrix, so you need to satisfy the order requirements for multiplication. For example, if identity matrix has 2 columns, the A should has 2 rows, or it can have any number of columns here. Hence, in this case, I times B would be B, so B equals A inverse BA. So whenever you have like these type of questions where they are talking about matrices, but they are not matrices, right? Just have these symbols. Don't get confused. You can just find the defined value in the same way you solve algebraic questions, but be aware if you are multiplying A inverse on the left side, like at the top left, at the very left, then you have to do the same on the right side as well. So it should be at the very left, the right side. And similarly, if you multiply A inverse on the right side of the left, then it should be on the right side of the right as well.